what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Been trying to change what I've been trying to say. Words don't come straight from my head to my mouth. It's such a shame that it fell out of place. Was never me that was bringing you down. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Why
Hello and welcome. Nice to be at your place wherever you're watching right around the world. Welcome back to Barcelona for our second foray into the Spanish SuperSprint. And after some technical difficulties, to put it mildly, from our drivers' first outing here in Spain, we'll be hoping for a much cleaner run this time around as the first round of first time around.
Let us back in this time, so glad to be here and glad that we could have another go at this this round. Very excited, of course, to be here. As you said, a lot of changes to the championship the last time out. So we'll see what happens when we go racing tonight. Will we see someone new up the top? But yeah, very interesting up the pointy end.
Absolutely. Let's recap this season before we go any further. It was round one, the Italian job, and then we went to Silverstone via Spain. Well, less said about that, the better. Of course, that was round three of the season. King of the Ring was round four, and of course, round five, of course, was the American Grand Prix last time out on the 22nd of June, and that was the 2-hour endurance race, and what a fantastic race that was. But in the championship, as we take a look at the Drivers' Championship here this evening, Isaac, there's some teams, some drivers dominating this one, but it's still plenty to play for, isn't it, halfway through the season?
Yeah, it's absolutely all to play for. Mazzanetti is still 158 points out in front at the moment from Simon Bishop, obviously moving his way up into second. Braden Henderson has dropped down, he's moved himself up into third after a strong showing last time out. And Adam Gray now leads the way after a rough round for Senna Staley at Watkins Glen. He leads from Bob Norley, and then Adam Joy finds himself in third. No Adam Joy tonight. He's feeling a bit under the weather. We wish him a speedy recovery. That will drop him back down the order, obviously, but great to see him up in third spot in the championship. And then obviously our AM drivers, Wayne Tanner has taken the lead in the AM Championship with 46 points over Ian Stewart, and then Matt Boyd still sitting in third. So starting to get quite close at the top of Pro-Am, Trev, and I'm hoping, maybe not Mazzanetti's hoping, but certainly myself and Simon Bishop will be hoping that gap continues to close at the front of the Pro Championship.
Absolutely. Like we said, plenty to play for as we go to the Teams Championship now, and CP Motorsports, of course, leading the way, Isaac, but once again, it's very close, isn't it, in that midfield bunch?
Sorry, Trev, I think I lost you there for a second. But yes, our Teams Championship, we are looking at CP Motorsports still out in front. 48 points only clear. So that gap again closed in. Team XV Primer launched themselves up into second spot in the Teams Championship, and TTR Southside now find themselves in third. So those are two big teams making big moves. They were right down the back half of the top 10 coming into the last round at Watkins Glen, and a strong showing, and both drivers scoring points in that championship has resulted in a really good result for those guys. Team BCG, or BCG1, have dropped down to fourth. Another one to look out for, Cactus Racing 2 with Bruce Quadrell and Jaden DeWitt have moved themselves inside the top 10, so they now sit ninth. And you touched on this earlier before we got underway, Trev, but there's quite a lot of teams that are close on points, so it's getting quite close just up and down the field in terms of this Teams Championship.
Absolutely, and of course, let's have a second crack at this one this evening, shall we not? The Spanish SuperSprint here tonight, of course, on the 4th of July, 2 10-minute qualifying sessions, like I mentioned, followed by 2 30-minute races. And we are just about to head to the track, or the drivers are, and so are we. But before we do that, we're going to take a look at this circuit, Isaac, and it's one of the favourites. It's been the host of the Spanish Grand Prix since 1991, and it's a classic in the ACC community.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's one of the fan favourites. 15 corners around here, 4.6 kilometres. Track was made in 1993. The chicane that we see here was added in 2016, used by F1 for a number of years, and they've recently reverted back to the no chicane layout, but the GT World Challenge still uses the chicane layout, so that's what we use as well. 16 corners, as I said, 9 to the left, 7 to the left, 9 to the right, and 29.6 meters of elevation. And then, of course, you can see where we just entered out of New Holland onto the just over 1 kilometer long front straight and that's going to play a key role in the slipstream factor around here, Trev.
It's going to be absolutely fantastic, and you can see the crowd is building. Not a very big crowd, Isaac, but I'm sure they'll get in. There is a couple of races on this evening as we head to the track now for qualifying, and it's well and truly underway. And Isaac, I don't know about you, but that looks like M. Dinetti with a 144.542 on provisional pole position. It's another week, but it's a familiar face at the top of the timing sheets here so far.
It's business as usual for our championship leader. Only a 44.5 though. We've seen some fairly quick times. I would suspect we're going to get up towards a second faster than that by the end of the second qualifying session later this evening. Nick Carter sitting in second, and a surprise Bowen Piper sitting in third at the moment in the 81 Mercedes for Defy Motorsports. So look at the curb usage there from Nick Carter. Max Silver goes to the top with a 44.3, and Simon Bishop with a 43.4. That is absolutely ridiculous. I was talking about maybe towards the back end of the second qualifying session, Trev, seeing a second improvement. I didn't mean about 30 seconds after I said it.
Well, this is incredible. Here I am. Oh, a 144.4. Oh, that's pretty impressive. Mind you, it's a hell of a lot quicker than what I could do. And then Simon Bishop goes even quicker than that with a 43.4. Nick Carter 4/10 further back, but that is super quick. And he is just parked. He's parked that BMW on the inside of what must be turn 3, I reckon, but he's back in the pits now, and why wouldn't you head back into the pits after a lap like such as that? But look how close it is. Let me draw your attention, Isaac, and our viewers, as Simon Bishop straight back out. This man is on a mission. He's from another planet.
Yeah, he wants to set a faster time. He knows he can go quicker, and that actually concerns me. We could get towards the 42s here by the end of this qualifying session if we're not careful. But the gap between majority of the field at the moment is starting to close up. New balance of power this weekend. We'll touch on that a little bit later and explain to you just what changes have been made to the cars. But for now, we will just touch on the fact we do have new balance of power, which is supposed to bring these cars a lot closer together. So we're hoping, we saw in practice throughout the week, times were quite close between a lot of drivers. So hopefully that will continue as this session goes on, as Braden Henderson, who's currently in 6th place, returns to the pit lane. Top 8 cars separated by less than a second, making that the top 9 cars now as Max Silver jumps up to 8. This is Aiden Holton, not the Watkins Glen Enduro he would have wanted. The American Grand Prix did not go his way. Trev had wheel issues, so much so that his wheel disconnected and he had to DNF with about 45 minutes to go on the race, which was disappointing.
Absolutely, and let me tell you, if you are driving these cars and you disconnect your wheel, you've really got no way of steering them, and that is a big hindrance for you. No doubt about that. We've got 2 minutes left in this session, and who else have we got? Let's take a look at the drivers lower down the order, because once again, Tanner, Boyd and Stewart in the Pro-Am class, in the Am class. That's going to be a tasty little one to keep an eye on here in Spain as well tonight, because they're close once again, as they have been all season in the Am class.
Yeah, it's close between these guys yet again. Obviously, Tanner can lead the way. Ignore James Red. He is definitely not an AM driver. We saw him in the Pro-Am Championship in Season 1. If you're a regular viewer of AGT, you'll remember that. So he's marked as being in the AM class, but he's a reserve tonight for Defy Motorsports and filling in the Mercedes. So just because he's a reserve, he gets marked with the red as well. Unfortunately, we only have limited colours that we can assign to our drivers. So Wayne Tanner leading the way in the AM class. He's doing a wonderful job. This is Ian Stewart, who's also doing a great job at the moment. We have a few cars yet to set a time. Takaxis just set a time. So we've got Jaden DeWitt, Josh Gordon and Clayton Twining. Clayton Twining's still in the pit lane and yet to set a time in this session. And it's looking fairly close across most of the field at the moment. Majority of the field separated by just over 3 seconds, which is great to see. Competitive times up and down the field at the moment. Simon Bishop still leading the way. Josh Struick has got himself within 0.3 of a second. This is a man that was doing 43.3s in practice earlier in the week, so I'd expect a lot more pace out of this Mustang before this session's over. We've only got 42 seconds left though, Trev, so not a lot of time to get another lap in.
Absolutely, less than a minute to go until the end of this opening qualifying session. I like that too, the rerun of the Spanish SuperSprint here for AGT, season number 2. And yes, that's very good indeed. As you can see, 143.430, and Josh Struick and with a 43.750 there. Of course, this circuit using the older style layout. I say older style layout, Isaac, but I'm pretty sure it's still there, isn't it? The F1 guys just reverting back to the original layout, of course, of this circuit. As we take a look now, that is the end of the session. As you can see there, the drivers will have 2 minutes to continue or finish their flying laps, as we see Struick come across the line and not setting the times that he was talking about in practice a little bit earlier on. Simon Bishop, can he go quicker? Who else is on a quick lap, Isaac, as we flick through the order here, please?
We've got a couple cars still yet to set a lap time. Big news for me is Matt Zanetti is in 8th place and he's done. So the best he can hope for is the 4th row of the grid. That is James Machin done now as well, so he will not improve. What is Nick Carter doing? What is Bruce Quadra doing? Aiden Holton, can any of those guys improve? We've still got quite a few cars on the lap time looking at the mini-map. We'll have a look. Aiden Holton's in the lane. Max Silva is still on the time. Can he improve and knock off Matt Zanetti? Can he get himself up another row of the grid? Here's the 75 Mercedes. Oh, that's Cameron Fleming off the circuit, so he's done as well. No one else seems to be improving at this stage. This looks like it could be it. What can Max Silva do through the final sector now? You're going to have to use a lot of curb. Look how much curb he's using there. Avoid the giant sausage curbs. You're going to be delicate with your curb usage through this bit. Ride the sausage curb on the exit of turn 15 through 16 now. If you can get it right, you can pin it flat across the finish line. Can he improve? No, he can't. He stays in 9th. So Matt Zanetti holds on by the skin of his teeth. But that is a wonderful qualifying for Max Silva. If you look, pretty much all pro drivers in the top 13 surrounded by one lonely Max Silva in Pro-Am, Trev.
Absolutely, and the most interesting thing here, we talked about the balance of power with a few changes here this evening, but Nick Carter with the fastest first and second sectors there before Simon Bishop coming in with a 34.3 in the final sector, so most of Simon's time in that final sector as well.
Yeah, the BMW is really strong through that final sector. A lot of corner rotation, a lot of turning time in that final sector. You think about just how many high-speed corners and even low-speed corners there are. Turn 12 especially, you've got to be able to keep the throttle in just enough, but keep rotation in the car. And the BMW is really strong through that sector, so not surprised at all to see a BMW setting the purple in the final sector. And
I wonder, we see after Simon Bishop, it is Ford Mustang, and then another Ford Mustang. Can you believe it? Struick, Machin and Carter. And I just wonder whether the Simon Bishop factor is playing a role in that car being on pole position. But Isaac, we're a couple of minutes away from starting this race. And I don't want to put you under the bus too early on, of course, but this should be an absolute cracker here this evening. And, well, we haven't got... our viewers have got value for money this evening, don't they, Isaac? Fingers crossed, touch wood, because they've got 2 races, not just one, around here in Spain, and we get a second chance to come to Spain as well. Yeah, we get 2 goes at this. So we came here, obviously, earlier in the season. We had a Spanish government said, maybe not this time, come back later. So we came back and we get 2 races tonight. So 2 30-minute sprint races, obviously. We're sticking with our normal Super Sprint format, so nothing new, nothing exciting. If you are new here, you haven't watched the Super Sprint round before with us, you missed King of the Ring, go back and watch that. That was an awesome race. Some awesome events there. Brayden Henderson taking his first win in AGT, which was amazing to see. But we'll have 2 30-minute sprint races, no pit stops required. So the only reason you have to come to the lane is if you underfuel your car or you get a drive-through. Remember, the game does hand out track limit penalties, and around here that can be very easy to do. So drivers have to keep an eye on those track limit warnings as this race goes on. It's very easy to use those up quite quickly. But hopefully, we should just see good hard racing for 30 minutes. They'll reset. We'll have another 10-minute qualifying session. We'll do it all again, Trev. Cannot wait for that. Adrenaline GT Season 2. Trevor Byers and Isaac Fogarty with you for this one. We are waiting for our drivers to pull away on the formation. Lap here this evening. As we said, it is a straight run to the line, of course, a sprint race. Of course it is here for round 2 of this championship. The countdown is on. You can see the drivers right the way through the field there. Plenty of BMWs, only one Ferrari. So once again, we've seen it all season, Isaac. Ferrari struggling around many of these circuits here in this series.
Yeah, the Ferrari gets a little bit, we would say that it gets a little bit punished under the balance power rules. The Ferrari drivers feel a little bit hard done by, but 5th place is nothing to scoff at for Bruce Quadrille, especially considering he's in and amongst the Mustangs and the BMWs, which are considered to be what they call the meta cars, to use the modern lingo. But he is doing a wonderful job. Obviously, the next Ferrari driver in 18th place at this stage, which is Andrew Griffin, and then Nathan Lee not too far behind him. So a bit of a rough trot for most of the Ferrari drivers this time out, but Bruce Quadrille doing a great job sitting up in 5th place to start this race. Another driver who's done a wonderful job, again we've touched on him, is Max Silva, starting 9th in this race and has a fair gap to his closest Pro-Am rival in Bob Norley, who's out-qualified Adam Gray. So that's our 1st and 2nd in the Pro-Am Championship, sitting 2nd and 3rd in class, 14th and 15th on the road for this start. Shannon Staley looking to bounce back as well. Trev, keep a close eye on him because he wants to claw some points back tonight.
Certainly does. Love saying that name too. It just rolls off the tongue. Shannon Staley, it's absolutely fantastic. Good to see the Porsche there as well. We don't see too many Porsches, but there is the young man Elzine there, the young man, the youngest, I believe. I think we've established that, haven't we, in this championship? And you can see right through the order. Then it's Mr. Worldwide, of course, for Fogarty Motorsport there, car number 79. And we can see DeWitt there and the other Ferrari down the back of the field. And James Barton is into the pits. So this is interesting here, Isaac. He was on that formation lap, I believe, but he's headed back to the pits. So has he had some connection issues there? I'm not too sure what's going on.
I believe he may have an issue. I can't remember if he definitely started the formation lap or not. If you don't click drive on your screen, then it doesn't start. It actually starts from the pit lane. You miss out on starting the formation lap. So that may have potentially been what happened. Just want to touch as well. My little birdies have been passing me information as we've been sitting here. I've been having notes passed to me by my data team. They've informed me quite reliably that Matt's set of tyres for that qualifying run. Not sure why. You get an unlimited set of tyres at this stage in AGT, so they actually don't need to worry about running used sets at any point in the weekend. So not sure why he would have been on a used set qualifying, but that's why he's sitting 8th and where he is. But cars are starting to grid up now, Trev, so I think we're not too far away from a race start.
Absolutely, cannot wait for this one. Data team, I'm going to have to ask upper management about that one. All I've got is my pooch sitting next to me here in the commentary box, of course, along with Isaac Fogarty. But we are about to tear this one to shreds here. Look at this Simon Bishop, the wily customer that he is. He's done everything you can do in the world of sim racing. He's got Josh Struick there as well, who's just getting his nose in front there as we come around the final corner to get this one underway. 30 minutes of racing action coming your way, followed by 30 more minutes of racing action qualifying in there as well. But we are almost ready to go for the Spanish SuperSprint. Hold on, let's go, let's get racing. It's green and we are away. It is go, 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 and Simon Bishop makes the perfect start and Struick slots into the left. Will he be able to have a run down into turn 1 as they all stream down? The start finish straight for the first time in this half-an-hour race. You can see Struick, has he lost out there? James Machen making moves on the inside, and he's up to 2nd already, Isaac, as everyone's got away cleanly.
This is a great start. No incidents in turn 1. I was a bit worried for Matt Zanetti. Typically when he's down the order, doesn't have a great start, but it looks like he's got away with it. That's a wonderful start for James Machen. Up into 2nd place. Already got the better of Josh Struick. Bruce Quadrille also up into 4th. The drive-through for Jaden DeWitt. I just noticed that flick up on our screen, so he would have been out of position at the start of the race, which would have caused him to receive a drive-through. Clayton Twining also starting from the pit lane, so he's now got underway in this race. But a wonderful start, as you mentioned, with James Machen. He sits in 2nd from Simon Bishop, currently in 1st.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at this, though. Don't count Josh Struick out, that's for sure, because he is right up behind James Machen. You can see Quadrille there, a great start as well. Highest of the Ferrari runners here in the opening couple of minutes of this race. We can see Twining there going down the field, and right amongst the action is Quadrille. He's made up another place here, Isaac. This Ferrari is on fire here in Spain.
And that was the BMW, I believe, of Matt Tonetti, also getting past Nick Carter. So Nick Carter lost 2 positions there, and positions are moving up for Matt Tonetti. He started in 8th place in this race, and I believe that should be now 5th place for him. A couple of cars having a cheeky look through the final complex. Super difficult to make an overtake through this. It was a bold move, and we can see down the order we've got a couple of cars already spread out after starting in the pit lane, and Jaden DeWitt will have to come in at some point soon to serve that drive-through. So, few tough luck stories up and down the field, but so far, so good. No major incidents, so we'll touch wood, Trev.
Absolutely. That's me touching wood there, but you can see a couple of drivers at the back. But look at this battle. Carter, and there is Fleming as well, car number 7 in the BMW. He is, oh, who's that gone wide? Is that Nick Carter? He is having a terrible run on this first lap and a bit. And you can see, look at that, 27.5 minutes to go. Track temperature of 34 degrees, air temperature of 27. No real wind to speak of. And I don't think the weather's going to be too bad as well, of course, because we are in sunny Spain. But he is getting caught up here, and Fleming under pressure there, putting him under pressure, I should say. And Braden Henderson as well. It is tight in that midfield. Piper doing well there inside the top 10. And I tell you what, Aidan Holton didn't have the best American Grand Prix, did he, Isaac? And, well, he's inside that top 10, but he's under pressure here as well from Bob Norley.
Yeah, and he got his ears boxed a bit at the start. He was 7th place off the line. The other person who got their ears boxed a bit was Max Silver. He was 9th. He's now sitting down to 12th. That was at Shannon Staley looking up the inside of Adam Gray into the... I don't remember what turn number that is. I think it's turn 10. Don't quote me on that. But it is turn 10, actually. I got that right. Well done. But this is Bob Norley doing a wonderful job leading the way in the Pro-Am class at the moment. Aidan Holden not too far in front of him again. Tough start for him. Now this is really good for Team XV Prime, and they've got a car sitting 8th and 11th. And as sitting 2nd in the Teams Championship, this is wonderful points for them, Trevor.
Certainly is, and points is what it's all about. As we will continue to look at the battles right through the order. But this man, Simon Bishop, here he comes through turns 2 and 3 as well. This beautiful Circuit de Barcelona here in Catalonia, sunny Spain, as we always like to call it. But Simon Bishop is 1.8 seconds ahead of P2 in James Machin, who made a terrific start. But Josh Struick, is this affecting his race? We've got Mustang, then Ferrari, and Bruce Quadrille doing an amazing job there in P4. Matt Tonetti, though, not too far behind him. Nick Carter, of course, he wants to, he's on, I was about to say the comeback drive, but is it going to be damage limitation for Nick Carter? They love using that buzzword, don't they? Damage limitation there. Then it's Henderson, Piper and Holton. And what's happening further down the order? Mr. Hammond there, car number 59, doing very nicely indeed. And then we can see Horvath, and then Boyd and Tanner. This is getting spicy for the AM class. And you can see Stewart and Takax, who got a time in, but he was well down the field. DeWitt is, was he the one with the penalty? I think it was Twining in the Mercedes AMG car, so he must have been in, Isaac, to serve his penalty, and he's right at the back of the field there along with James Barton now.
They had it right the first time, it was DeWitt. So Twining started from the pit lane. DeWitt had to serve the drive-through, so he's currently sitting in 30th place after serving that. So that will mean that he's got a bit of work to do. That's James Barton as well. But Matt Boyd doing a wonderful job, currently leading the AM class over Wayne Tan. He's sitting 3rd in the AM Championship at the moment, and he's been a bit disappointed with some of his results so far this season because he knows he can get a lot more out of the car. And hopefully we'll see him do more of that today in that lovely McDonald's-looking car. But he's got Wayne Tanner not too far behind. And then Mark Sinclair sitting right in behind him as well. So there's a bit of work to do if he wants to take the M-Class win in this race.
Absolutely. It's not going to be handed to him on a platter this evening, that is for sure. We'll get back. Oh, a bit of a moment. And somebody was off.
Oh!
Is that Tanner? No, it's not. It wasn't Matty Boyd. Matty Boyd. Let's have a look here. Who was that?
It looks like a Defy car. It looked like a Defy.
Yep.
Maybe James Hammond. It was James Hammond. I can see him tumbling down the order now.
James
Hammond.
Hammond.
There was an incident there for James Hammond. He was on his own, so that may have been it may have been just self-inflicted. We'll have to have a closer look at that a bit later, but he's still coming up to grips with this car. Very last-minute entry for James Hammond, and very last-minute jump into the Mercedes, a man who's typically used to the Mustang, Trev. So he's a little bit of a fish out of water, maybe still adjusting with the car.
Absolutely, as you can see there. Simon Bishop. Let's get back to the business end, Isaac, and have a look at this one. Simon Bishop now 2.5 seconds ahead of this man in Josh Struick, who's back into second place, and Machin now struggling. Matt Donetti all over the back of him as we come through the turns 14, 15, and we approach turn 16.
There we go.
Machin is running slightly wide, and they're all having a piece of him here at the moment onto the start-finish straight. Isaac, what is happening there?
Yeah, that was a bit of a rough moment. I think he's going slowly at the moment, is Machin, so not sure. There may be an issue for the 193 TTR Westside driver, trying to see if there's a puncture on that car. It doesn't look like there is, but he's pulling over to the side of the circuit, so something has happened there for the TTR driver, which is not good. He was very close on exit to Matt Donetti, and he's driven into the wall. So it looks like he's lost steering. This is not good for Machin at all. Looks like he's got no control of that car at this stage, Trev.
Absolutely, and boy, the little birdies, you're going to have to get them to work, because we need to know what's happening here. As you can see, that is a big, big moment in this race. He'll have another chance here, of course, tonight with another 30-minute race coming up. After this one, of course, after qualifying, the next qualifying session. But look how close it is right throughout the field. Matt Donetti, is that a Ferrari in third place? What is happening here? Bruce Quadrell, it must be his birthday. He's having a terrific run, but he's under pressure from Matt Donetti.
Matt Donetti got checked up by Machin having that issue on the exit of the final corner, which let Quadrell get back past. But here we go, Matt Donetti up the inside into turn 11. This is a tricky place to go side by side. There's a little bit of room given by both drivers. Great respect between the races. Nick Carter is right there under the nose, or under the rear wing, sorry, of Matt Donetti, ready to strike. And this is where, massive curb. You just look at the air time that the Ferrari got there on the exit of turn 14, Trev. That was huge for the Ferrari. He's done a great job to keep it in check, but here we go. It's a drag race down the front straight. Now, all pull to the side. We might have had three wide here. Matt Donetti's going to use the slipstream of the Ferrari to his advantage to try and keep ahead of Nick Carter. They're going to go side by side into turn one here. Nick Carter up the inside of Matt Donetti. He's made that move stick. Quadrell's got loose exit, so he's gone wide. He's now lost 2, 3, maybe 4 positions to Bowen Piper behind, or Brayton Henderson, sorry, but I think he's going to hold on just for now. What an exciting sequence of events, Trev.
Unbelievable. Not exciting for Bruce Quadrell. He was up to third, wasn't he? And the pressure from Carter, Donetti, Fleming, Henderson as well, all over the back of him. Look here, and he got a little bit twitchy, didn't he? There through turns 1 and 2. We've got 20 minutes remaining in this race. My foot's twitching more than Christian Horner on the Red Bull pit wall, because this is exciting stuff as the Ferrari, he's just holding on, but that has released Carter, Donetti and Fleming, and that could keep them in this race with 20 minutes to go. Having said that, though, Struick and Bishop are doing their own thing at the front.
Yeah, that's been a free kick for Struick. He's got 6 seconds back to Nick Carter, but that battle's going to continue on for the foreseeable future. Look at that little dot, or the little gaggle of cars you can just see coming through into turn 11 and 12 now. An absolute just cluster of cars. But this is Simon Bishop, just 2.7 seconds away from Stewie. These guys are in their own little world at the moment, Trev.
They certainly are, and they are on another planet here as we tick under 20 minutes to go in this one. Struick and then Carter, look at him trying to break the slipstream from the BMW behind of Matt Donetti. Is he going to be close enough down into turn 1? I don't believe so. But then again, funnier things have happened as we see once again the drivers using every bit of track available to them, Isaac, in those little green runoff area bits, which they're more than welcome to do, of course, but they don't want to sneak out too far and get all 4 wheels off the track, do they? Because track limits can be a little bit irritating, of course, for them, and they don't want to pick up a penalty either.
Yeah, no, track limits can bite you on this game, especially if you run four wheels off the track. So you don't want to push too hard because that will cost you in the end. So we can see Cameron Fleming starting to lose touch with the two in front. So Nick Carter and Martinetti starting to begin to do their own thing and build away. But pretty much third place all the way down to Max Silva in 11th at the moment are all within a second of each other, which is absolutely incredible. These guys just formed a nice little train and have kept that battle going all the way back end of the top 10. So this is wonderful racing so far. Senan Staley running in 12th place at the moment. Bob Norley leading the way for your Pro-Am class.
Absolutely. There is Quadrille, car number 67 there, and look how close they are. Bumper to bumper action here. And you can see just having some issues there. Bruce Quadrille, that Ferrari looks very twitchy, and that is going to give Henderson an invite. Come on in, he says. Not a lot of space there, but that is a very, very upset Ferrari. As look at the bouncing over the curbs, riding those sausage curbs. And you can see there, that is going to upset the balance of the car. And two Mercedes all over the back of Quadrille, and they are fighting amongst themselves. As you can see, Quadrille getting out of the way now to break that slipstream. I haven't seen this many cars this close, Isaac, since I was in the McDonald's drive-thru earlier this evening.
That's a good way. Oh, it's massive contact into turn one. That was Bowen Piper making heavy contact with Braden Henderson, who's now in the wall. You can see the car on the outside of turn one sitting in the wall. That was heavy contact. I saw that coming from a mile away. Way too much speed, carried into turn one by Bowen Piper. I hope you're not seeing that in the McDonald's car park, Trev.
Absolutely. I tell you what, I've seen lots of things in that car park, especially after 9 p.m, but we'll leave that there because let's just recap here for everybody who is joining us. Simon Bishop. It's Simon Bishop there is, he is we're just in the bushes there, our Spanish TV director. Now we've got that back. But what is going on there? That is Simon Bishop's in second place. Please, what on earth is happening? Are there any little birdies out there? And if they are, can they tell us what happened to Simon Bishop? Because he is all over the place at the moment here.
We'll have to get onto it. I'll send the data guys to go do some research and walk down to the pit garage just to ask some questions, because that is huge for this race. And look how close Nick Carter and Matt Zanetti now are to the back of the number one BMW. This has eaten away at his lead, which was 2.5 seconds over Josh Struick, and it's now 7.5 seconds back to Josh Struick. So for the man that won at Watkins Glen, he's just got a free kick to take his first sprint race win if this continues. We're not even halfway through this race yet, Trev.
Where do we look? That's for sure. I tell you what, there is Simon Bishop. Josh Struick there, continuing on into the lead. 7.9 seconds back to Simon Bishop. And Simon Bishop is in defensive mode. He was in attack mode, but now he's gone back into defensive mode. My goodness me, I thought I was seeing things with this, some sort of blueberry Red Bull and these cultural tablets. I have been a little bit crook throughout the course of the week, but the show must go on as we approach half race distance here in just a few seconds' time. Of course, no pit stops for our viewers out there. This is a sprint round, and if you want to know what the sprint round's all about, go back and watch the King of the Ring. But of course, we don't want them to do that because they're watching this here at the moment. But Simon Bishop, he is going to have to go defensive here. But now we see Matt Zanetti and Nick Carter continuing to fight their own battle here for P3.
Yeah, this is going to continue on for quite some time. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this rage on for the rest of the race. He started to build out a gap to Cameron Fleming now, who's found his way away from Bruce Quadrille in that sixth row, and that would have been helped by the contact that happened further down the order. Braden Henderson now sitting in 19th place, so he's got that car going again. Hopefully not too much damage to the 877 or 877 Mercedes. Look at the curb usage for these guys. So much of the curb can be eaten by the BMW and the Mustang. Not so much the Ferrari, as we learnt earlier, as it tried to become the latest SpaceX rocket and take off here from Catalonia. But here we go. Slipstream is coming into effect now for Matt Zanetti. He's going to have a look into turn one, late on the brakes, but I don't think he's going to be close enough. very strong on the brakes, but he's run wide. He's run wide at the exit of turn 1, carried a little bit too much speed, and that's going to give Martinetti the place up into the podium positions now, and he can try and set after Simon Bishop.
Absolutely. Martinetti, championship leader currently in P3, and that is big, big news because, well, the man who is ahead of him is behind him in the championship, but ahead of him on the track this evening. And if you can work all that out, you're a better man than me. But this is important as well for the championship, Isaac, here in round 2. The round, of course, that never happened. But we are well and truly back. They let us back in at Customs. Hola. And I said, I know, Isaac Fogarty, let me into the country, would you please? Because Struick now on lap number 9. We've got 13 minutes to go here. He is looking like a sure thing. But Simon Bishop, is he going to be happy with P2? Is it a defensive game he needs to be playing now?
I'm sorry, I'm too busy laughing. It's it's definitely a game now of can he just hold on to P2. Martinetti's going to have a lot of pace in that car. We knew he didn't see his full potential in qualifying because he was on an old set of tyres, as we mentioned. So this is where Simon Bishop just needs to be smart. 12 minutes to go in the race. He got a very, very fast driver behind him. But we've seen time and time again, Martinetti closes up to Simon Bishop, and Simon Bishop makes it incredibly difficult for him to get past. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see that yet again. And with Nick Carter not too far behind, maybe he can back him up into Nick Carter, put a little bit of extra pressure on our championship leader. Because Simon Bishop, he wants to get every point he can. Only halfway through the season following this round, so he wants every point he can to claw back that championship gap to Martinetti.
Let's have a look now. 12 minutes remaining. 10 laps completed in this race as we are going live to both Twitch, TrackSpotTV, Twitch and YouTube. And of course the Adrenaline GT, AGT YouTube as well. Is there anyone alive out there, Isaac? Because if they are, please let us know how you're doing in the comments. But Nick Carter right up behind Martinetti. That's very close, but I think it's about time we talked about this man, Aidan Holton, up to P7 with Bob Norley behind him. Then it's the Pied Piper who's got Max Silver there following every move he makes. Staley there outside, of course, the top 10 overall. Let's have a look at what's happening. James Machin in the pits and Twining as well. He's doing okay there. There's DeWitt to Cax and Matty Boyd. Interesting battle here as well because Tanner right up behind Mr. Worldwide.
Yeah, this is still going on. Obviously, we established Matt Boyd, Xbox user, which gives him the globe symbol, so he becomes Mr. Worldwide, as he's affectionately known in the commentary box by yourself and I, Trev. So he's doing a wonderful job at the moment. This gap has probably stayed about the same, actually. I don't really think it's grown or shrunk since we last checked with them about 10 minutes ago. So they're just sort of holding station at the moment. But James Hammond, not too far behind these guys, within a second now. You can see the Defy Motorsports Mercedes sitting right in behind. So he's going to insert himself into this battle. Maybe an opportunity here for Wayne Tanner to use that to his advantage. Has a look up. Here we go. Bad exit for Matt Boyd. As I say that, Wayne Tanner's going to have a look down the inside. Runs Matt Boyd wide off the circuit. And they're going to have to go back single file for this section. This is not a section. It's not a per area of the track. You want to try and make an overtake stick. A better exit here for James Hammond will set him up to try and get past. A snap of oversteer on exit. You can see he had to make an adjustment there, a correction, if you will, through the final corner. So the dirty air playing a factor, and that is going to give Matt Boyd a little bit of fresh air. But he's now lost that that AM class lead, to Wayne Tanner, who is our AM championship leader. So he jumps back up into 23rd place.
So you can see there, look at that. There is Hammond as well. Stewart will get back to the sharp end of the field in just a few moments. What else is happening there? We can see Elzine, the young man. There is a yellow flag. No, I beg your pardon. That is, I think that might be for Machin in the pits. But Elzine, the young man, who's all over the back of Sen and Staley. And let's have a look at this. We're coming up now to the Lacaisha hairpin at turn 10. Can he make a move this corner? Down the inside. Oh, he's going to send it. He's going to lick, stamp and fully send it. Australia Post. I'm not quite sure whether it's express, but he's managed to get that done. But Staley has other ideas here.
Oh, this is a wonderful battle. He's going to have another look back up the inside. It's not over yet, Trev. And that is a wonderful move from Elzine to get the move done on Sen and Staley. He won't be able to get him back through here. Will he be able to get it done down the straight? I'm not too sure. The Aston Martin is this one of the slower cars in the straight line. They're actually fairly close though, the Porsche and the Aston Martin. On average though, the Aston Martin is the slowest car in straight line, so he'll need a bit of help here with the slipstream, but I don't think he's going to be close enough for that to take effect. And that is a wonderful piece of racing from those two drivers.
See there, what a move that was from the young man. And wow, you can see there, blink and you will miss it. He is gone. That is incredible now, but 8 minutes remaining in this race. It is, we believe, a foregone conclusion, but boy, funny things happen here in Spain, that's for sure. And we know that anything is possible here in Barcelona, but you can see Matt Donetti, Simon Bishop, he's thinking of the championship, surely. Will there be any moves made here? Of course there will, because they are races at the end of the day. And this is first and second in the championship, second and third on the circuit here.
Yeah, they're race car drivers. They're going to make moves if they can. So if there's a window of opportunity for Matt Donetti, he will have a look up the inside of Simon Bishop and try and make a move stick. With 7 minutes to go in this race though, time is running out. We've already established Simon Bishop doesn't make it easy for anybody. But having a look further down the order, we have Aidan Holton quite close to the back of Bruce Quadrille at this stage, and Bob Norley also within a second of that battle. So a little battle pack forming for 6th place in this race as we look to the end of this race. Only 7 minutes to go. So cars starting to close up. That Ferrari doing a wonderful job in place in this race, Trev.
It certainly is, and aren't we loving it here on lap 13. Struick, we know what he can do then. Simon Bishop, Donetti, Carter, Fleming. You can see 3 BMWs and 2 Mustangs in the top 5. Then it's Bruce Quadrille. All over the back of him, though, is Aidan Holton. And this is very, very important for the CP Motorsports team, don't forget. With 6.5 minutes left in this race. Still plenty to play out, though. Bob Norley, then Max Silver, then Piper in the top 10. Norley and Silver, of course, 2.6 seconds further back in the Pro-Am class. Then Sen and Staley. Nicholson, who else have we got? Some movers and shakers there. Henderson, a little bit disappointed with him. Will he be happy with that down there in P17 overall? Is that Sheepers having a moment? Because Griffin is off the circuit. I was about to say he was going to have a crack at Sheepers there, but is that going to be contact? Oh, Verstappen and George Russell. Boy, those two have come together there, but not on that occasion. You can see that Ferrari. The Ferraris have struggled, and again, some sideways action. Do we say Tokyo Drift, or can you say it?
Oh, a bit of sprint car action there, I think, actually. Just getting sideways through the corner. A wonderful catch. It was almost contact between the Team XV Primer teammates. Remember, Team XV teammates, I should say. Remember Braden Henderson racing for Team XV Primer. But this is open. Andrew Griffin up for a move from Nathan Hutton. He looks to the inside. I think Nathan Lee was having a look in the background as well at Frank Horvath. He's got that move, Anthony Burrows, sorry, and he's got that move done. So that's a wonderful move from Nathan Lee up into 19th place. But this is getting quite close now between Hutton and Griffin. And I think there could be an opportunity here for the BMW driver to capitalise. If he gets a nice exit off here, beautiful drive there, not too much curb at all. Can he hold enough speed through this final corner? No major oversteer. Seen a couple cars just get a bit twitchy through there. But Andrew Griffin, quite close to Sheepers. Well, Shepherd, sorry, this time around, he's going to have a look into turn 1 here, Trev. There's going to be a move from the Ferrari driver maybe up the inside. Can he make it stick? Oh, very loose on exit again. That Ferrari continuing to show the sprint car DNA it has hidden within it.
Oh, Sheepers, creepers. And look at this, Griffin there not having a great time, but in the Ferrari as well. Sheppers, I think it is pronounced, as you can see. Hutton there right behind him in the BMW car number 47. There's Lee as well in the red Ferrari. His teammate James Barton well down the field, but there is a red Ferrari, and we always love to see that. Burrows, what has happened to him with 4 minutes left in this race? P20 overall, the lowest, I believe, apart from James Machin, of course, the lowest of the pro runners. That's a little bit disappointing. I thought he'd be further up the field here.
Yeah, it just hasn't been his night so far tonight. Struggled in qualifying, and once you have a struggle in qualifying, once you get a poor qualifying, it's really hard to make moves through this field. We've seen time and time again a 30-second stop go for Matt Boyd as well, so that is huge. That was the man who was leading our pro class earlier. He's going to let through the front runners. He's going to have to yield to blue flags there, and he does. But he must have come into the lane to serve a drive-through penalty, and then as a result has sped into the pit lane and has a 30-second stop go, which is going to sting even more. So that is crushing for the man who was leading the AM class not too long ago with only 3 minutes to go in this race. Just an update on James Machen. We have received confirmation that there's a wheel connection issue. I mentioned that earlier when he went off the circuit, and the way that the car was slowing down, there was just no real control over the car. It looked like it was a wheel disconnect issue, and I can confirm that it in fact was. So he's got that fixed, back out there now, just going to get classified, get some points.
And that's what it's all about, because let me tell you, very important to at least finish these races in this championship, of course, here. 2.5 minutes to go. And that data team working beautifully there, that's for sure, because he is back out on to this. They're not working for him, though. They're working for the man alongside me. But here is our race leader with 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in this race. Could this be the second to last lap? I think there might be one more after this, but there we go. Simon Bishop with the fastest lap, then Matt Donetti, 1.2 seconds. Just managing that gap back to P3, then P4 with Carter. Some gaps here with Fleming Quadrille, who's had ups and downs in this race, highs and lows if you like, but he's still there in P6, the highest of the Ferraris. And Aidan Holton up in P7, important for the team's championship, of course. Then it's Bob Norley, but let's have a look at the young man all over the back of Silver in Elzine here, and he's not going to have too many more goes at this, because this is coming up to the last lap, and he's not going to be able to get past here, Isaac, or is he? He's not quite close enough now, but it's a long lap around here.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. Hopefully he can make a move within this, what will be most likely the final lap, if not one more lap after this. But Max Silver started 9th in this race. Adam Elzey started 13th. So he's made up a few positions, look to gain places. But at the moment, it's a very different looking Pro-Am podium. Bob Norley, who sits second in the Pro-Am Championship at the moment, leads the way in the Pro. Max Silver in second. Riley Nicholson in third. So Adam Gray, our Pro-Am Championship leader, sits 4th in class and 13th on the road at the moment. So not the race he would have wanted to start to make a claim for that Pro-Am Championship, which will close the points gap up following this race. But what can Adam Elzine do? Not too long to go now. We may get another lap in.
I reckon we will get another lap in here. Let's go back to our P1 man in Josh Struick here. Let's have a look at a drive-through penalty for Nicholson. And what is that for? That's got to be for track limits. We'll have a look here. We've got 18 seconds left when he crosses the line. We will get another lap, but Nicholson, that is disastrous for him.
That will sting for Riley Nicholson. He was having such a great run, and we did mention that there would be a few victims to the drive-through process, and now it's just about getting that right. You know, come in. You're going to have to serve it this time by, otherwise you will get a 30-second penalty at the end of the race. So he'll come into the lane. He'll just need to get that entry just right. Don't want to speed, and he's actually going to stay out, so he's not going to serve it, which means he'll just cop the 30-second penalty at the end of this race, Trev.
That is controversial, to say the least. He's coming across the line. There is our leader. He's still got a fair way to go there. We'll keep an eye on that, of course, to see him come across the line in the Pro class. And there is our other leader in the Pro-Am class. As we'll see there, it's still all to play for, though. As you can see, look how close he is. Is it going to be Max Silver taking a second, which would be Silver? See what I did there. But LZ now in P3, and oh, he's down the inside. The young man is making moves here, and I reckon he could have this one done. He's got his nose in front, but Max Silver is not giving this away without an inch.
It's a wonderful move for Max Silver to get back down the inside. He held position with the wider line. Look at this aggressive move from Adam Elzine to try and have a look. You don't want to try and overtake there. That was very bold. Josh Struick now not too far away from winning this race, but this is the battle we're keeping a very close eye on. The run down towards turn 10. Is there going to be a potential move? We're going to have to wait and find out. This is Josh Struick taking the win. He won in Watkins Glen. He's going to win here in Spain for race 1. Simon Bishop will come second. But what is going to happen with that battle for the top 10?
Ooh, let's have a look. We'll get to our race winner. Oh, I know, it's killing me. The suspense. The suspense, Isaac. Where? I've lost him. Oh, there they go. Oh, they're sideways, Isaac.
This is sprint car action into the final couple corners. Max Silver holds the inside line through turn 15, through turn 16. He's going to hold on. It's going to be the battle for the ages for P10. Max Silver takes second in class and 10th place on the road.
Unbelievable stuff as we go down to this man. Let's have a look. I think I forgot about our winner there in Bob Norley. Oh, that's terrible, isn't it, to say that? But let's have a look at what's happening here in the AM class. But what? I can't believe how quickly that 30 minutes went. Nicholson has got the plus 30, so that puts him further down the field as we take a look at our winner here crossing the line in the AM class. Look at that. Tanner there will come home second. Stewart further back down the field. But what an opening race we've had here this evening.
Yeah, it's been certainly action-packed. Obviously, Rowan Nicholson copped that 30-second penalty, so that'll drop him down the order. It says he's 12th at the moment. On correction, that'll put him a fair way down. That is Ian Stewart crossing the line to finish third in class. A wonderful result for the Kiwi pit lane driver. But Josh Struick, what a masterclass from start to finish. That capitalised on that mistake from Simon Bishop and ran a flawless race to come home in first place. Riley Nicholson, on correction, finishes 23rd in that race. Trev?
Absolutely, just some movers and shakers late there in proceedings. But look at that. You can see the AM class there. It was Hammond winning from Tanner. Stewart, 8.5 seconds between first and second. Twining to Cax and Boyd. And then Bob Norley, what a great result for him. But look how close it was for P2 and 3 there in the end. Silver and Elzine, I think it says grey there, doesn't it though? But anyway, I think that's messing with me. But there it is, grey a little bit further back. But there it is, the overall winner. Simon Bishop getting the fastest lap of the race. You can see the weight discrepancies there on the far right of your screen. But well, that was quick. We're done now, and we've got a 2-minute break, a short interval, a chance for you to go out, get some popcorn, and get ready for round 2, because we've got another qualifying session, Isaac, and another race coming up as well.
We certainly do. I might need a drink of water after that race. There was so much happening up and down the field. It was wonderful to watch. But yeah, congratulations to Josh Struick. That was a brilliant job. Just I had something I was going to say, but it's completely lost my mind now. There's too much to process after that race, Trev.
That's absolutely fine, Isaac. You're in good hands here, that's for sure. But Josh Struick winning in the pro class from Simon Bishop in race 1. Then Matt Donetti, get this, just 1 second, 1.041 seconds behind Simon Bishop. We didn't see what happened with Simon Bishop there, unfortunately. But then Carter in 4th, Fleming in 5th in the 7 at BMW. Bruce Quadrell was 5.5 seconds further back from Cameron Fleming. Good result for the Ferraris. Aidan Holton coming back off a pretty rough American Grand Prix to finish 7th. And then it was Bob Norley there and Max Silver 1 and 2. And then Elzine in 3. Of course, a little bit further behind him. That is a fantastic finish. Let's hope we see more of that action in race 2. And there we go. It's a fantastic opening race here this evening for round 2. We tried to do this once before, and we struggled, of course, because we had some G-Portal issues, but we are back here this evening for round 2 of this championship. As you can see, it was postponed, but we are back here this evening. We've had one of the qualifying sessions followed by one race, and we're about to do it all over again. And of course, for anyone just joining us this evening, Isaac, first of all, where have they been? But pit stops not required, and I don't believe we're going to see any wet weather either here for race 2.
No, we'll get a dry for this last race, so no threat of weather for our drivers, which means nice smooth sailing, as long as they don't run into each other. But yeah, smooth sailing in terms of the weather. No pit stop required. We've seen a couple drivers have to serve drive-throughs for various instances, but a 30-second stop go for Matt Boyd was quite harsh, I would think. But that's the game stewards handing that one out for speeding in the pit lane. So we get a chance to do it all over again now, Trev, which very exciting, because if that race 1 was anything to go by, race 2 really cracking.
Absolutely. Let's head to the track now as we get ready for our second qualifying session here. The cars coming out onto the circuit. Like I mentioned, another 10 minutes of qualifying. And are we going to see any changes here? Is there any differences here in track temperature or track time tonight in Quali 2 versus Quali 1? Or is there similar time in-game as well as for both sessions? Or is one a little bit later than the other?
So we do have a bit of time difference. So I'll get the exact timings up for you, but I believe there is a 3-hour time difference potentially between sessions with these races, because we have to start every session on the hour. G-Portal is very specific about that. Every session has to start on the hour, and no session can start at the same hour as another one. So we kicked off with practice at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday. Then we headed to 2 o'clock for qualifying, 3 o'clock for the first race, 4 o'clock for that session downtime, and now at 5 p.m. we have qualifying 2, which means the second race will start at 6 p.m. So there might be a little bit of sunset in the eyes of the drivers, especially through this first sector, Trev, which might make it a bit more difficult to combat as the race goes on.
Absolutely, and as you said, 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock a rock, and won't start singing here this evening. But the thing as well, it could distract the drivers. Those shadows become longer, it becomes later in the session. And one thing especially around here with the sunset, of course, Isaac, is that it's a Spanish sunset too, isn't it? So it's just got a little bit more zip, a little bit more rays coming through there to distract our drivers. But we can see they're just coming through now to Cax in the pit lane, along with Twining and Griffin. Looking very ominous there, isn't it, that Mercedes-Benz in the pit lane with, it's a bit of a Jordan-style F1 throwback livery. Isaac probably wasn't even born then, but to know what I'm talking about. But sure, he might be able to look it up. But there is Isaac, no, it's not Isaac, that is Matthew Boyd there at the Fogarty Motorsport. That's what I was thinking, the Fogarty Motorsport cars. But it's going to be the usual suspects, I believe, at the top of the order as we wait to see our drivers setting their times. We're not seeing much at the moment, but they're just taking their time, looking to find some space out on the track, which is always difficult, Isaac, in quali with 20 plus cars and a shorter session. You want to get out there, you want to set a time, and you want to do it quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. There's we're almost halfway through this session, about 3 minutes and 30 seconds into this session, a 10-minute session, and we're yet to see anyone set a time. So you don't have a lot of time to get out there and get a good lap in, as we see Senate Staley do a 46.0 as the first driver to set a representative time on the board, and we'll see those times start to fall now. 44.5 for James Machin, and hopefully he's got those wheel issues fixed. A 43.9 for Simon Bishop, so he's quick straight out the gate here. He's not mucking around. Is Simon Bishop. He got pole in the last race, and he's putting his foot down and saying, I'm going to do that again. One. But just touching on that sun, they do say the sun is different in Spain, and it certainly can have a bit of bite. You can see the track temperature sitting at 30 degrees at the moment, even though the air temperature is 25. So very warm UV content out there, despite it being 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And these drivers doing a wonderful job at the moment of just pushing the car to the absolute limit. Look at the flow that Simon Bishop has through that first sector. This car is just, he's one with the car at the moment. Actually, and to take that back, he had a bit of snap on exit there, and that'll be it. He'll return to pit lane. Commentator's curse. I've done it again.
He is one. He was one with the universe there for a few seconds, wasn't he, Isaac? And then he went off the circuit. We've got to clip that, and we've got to chop that up actually and look back on that. That is the commentator's curse, if ever I've seen one. But 43.9s. That's Simon Bishop, Matt Donetti. Oh boy, this championship. We've seen times, especially in qualifying sessions, very close. In fact, so close that they were the same time. I remember a couple of weeks ago at the American Grand Prix, but I've got a feeling they can go quicker. A 43.9 doesn't seem as quick as they can go, and it's not as quick as what we saw in Q1.
No, we saw 43.4s in Q1, so this is nothing compared to what these drivers know yet, especially for Simon Bishop. So we'll expect to see him back out setting another time. Yeah, if not already, very soon. This is Braden Henderson. Bit of contact between himself and Bowen Piper in the last race, which resulted in being right down the order. He'll want to get a really good qualifying session here and try going into this next race, get a good result. So he's sitting third in the championship coming into this round. He'll want to hold on to that if he can, but it's a highly competitive championship, Trev, and just one small mistake can cost you big in the points.
It certainly can, and hard to get back into it too, as we've got a yellow flag out for something. But let's have a look here. Had Simon Bishop back out onto the circuit. 43.9 as the track rubbering in here. You can see 30 degrees track temperature, 25 degrees air temperature, which is similar to what we saw in race 1 and Q1, but of course later in the day. And they will not be expecting too much to change in terms of track conditions. But let's take a look at Sheppers there, and let's have a look at some of the other drivers. Hammond doing well there in the AM class as well, up there on pole position. Tanner amongst it there as well, Boyd, but still half a dozen or so drivers yet to set a time, and they are running out of time to do that here. A few of the AM guys, but Griffin not setting a time as yet with 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, we have a few drivers that are not setting times in this session just yet, so hopefully they can get that done. He's out on circuit mode, pushing really hard. Matt Donetti, fastest time in the session so far is 43.7, so he's gone to the top, and Simon Bishop won't stand for that. He'll have a response very soon, I'm sure. But Matt Donetti, this is what he can do. This is a representative time now because he's on a set of tyres. Remember, he did his session in Q1 on an old set, Trev, so we didn't really get the best of Matt Donetti, but hopefully we're getting that in this session.
Well, as we take a look now, it's not the best, is it, as we see across the line. Matt Donetti, starting to lose my voice, I do apologise. 2 minutes remaining in this qualifying session, and boy, is it heating up. It is ramping up here in this second qualifying session. 1 second covering the top 12, and then look how close it is further down the field. Quadrille, he's not going to be too happy with this performance. A brilliant performance inside that top 10 in the opening race here, but we are counting down now, less than 2 minutes to go, and boy, we are seeing some movers and shakers. A 43.7 for Matt Donetti. Can he go quicker? We'll stick with this lap through the final couple of corners here at turns 14 and 15. I've got a feeling this is going to be quick. Let's wait and see if he's going to make a liar out of me or not. He comes across the start-finish line. This looks quick. It looks racy. It is not quite enough as Struick goes to the top of the sheets. 43.6.
That's a wonderful lap from Josh Struick to get to the top. Matt Donetti didn't have the run a few corners that I think he would have liked. He was a bit wide at the apex of turn 13 and 14, so not the run he would have wanted in that final sector. He probably was up to that point. Simon Bishop improved, goes to second, knocks Matt Donetti down one more spot. Just want to mention Bruce Quadrille, he's jumped up to 7th place from 18th, so he has moved that Ferrari right back up the order now. That's a wonderful effort, and he's looking like he may improve again on this lap. He's looking very, very fast. But Josh Struick, our race winner in race 1 for this evening, is now stuck it on pole with a 43.6. Simon Bishop 1/10 away. They'll both get this one last run at a pole lap if they can get there. James Machin, what can he do as well? That's Simon Bishop on your screen at the moment, pushing through his lap. Still a fair way to go, so we'll check back in a bit later. James Machin just starting his lap as well. So a few drivers with question marks hanging over them with 30 seconds to go, Trev.
Oh, look at this. The time, even less than that. Even less, 20 seconds remaining. And we hope you're enjoying this on your Friday evening. Whether you're watching in Australia or New Zealand or Zimbabwe, you can watch us live on YouTube and Twitch through TrackSpotTV and the Adrenaline AGT racing channels. But 3, 2, 1, 0. That is the end of the session across the line. What's Struick done? At 43.6, I don't think that's going to change. Bishop into the pits, so is Matt Donetti. So Machin is one of the only ones that can really change anything for the pro drivers here with seconds to go.
He's got some work to do if he wants to make this count. He's got to hustle. He was quick in qualifying one, unlucky with that disconnect in race one. Wide of the apex there of 13, a bit loose on the exit there, but that'll help him with the rotation towards turn 13. Very wide at the exit of turn 15 into turn 16 now. Running down to the line, across the line. Will he improve here? He does not improve, but that's a very close time. The top 12 cars separated by less than a second, Trev. That's a wonderful effort from these drivers. Shout out to Max Silver as well, sitting 7th and leading the way for Pro-Am again. Strong qualifying.
Absolutely. Love that name, Max Silver. Got a young man, Max, as well, so don't mind that name. But Cam Fleming, can he improve? That is what you're asking yourself at home, Isaac, I'm sure. Because let's have a look across the start-finish line. Can Fleming improve? He does! Up to P5. And guess what? He says adios to Carter, Henderson and Silver, and he goes up into P5. Anybody else doing some good things? Car 79, Mr. Worldwide, can he improve? And he comes across the line now. No, he can't, Isaac. I think we've got a few other drivers there as well. I can't see the numbers, but what a qualifying session we had. It just keeps getting more and more exciting. And when you think that the Payal is done, bang, it just gets you again. And this is incredible, an incredible build-up to race 2 here.
It certainly is, and we saw Bowen Piper jump up to 23rd very late in that session, so he crossed the line, jumped up. He had a really good qualifying one, not the qualifying he probably would have won, struggling with that car a little bit. So half an hour race ahead of us, one time, as Daft Punk like to say. So we'll do this again. One more time, we'll go racing here at the Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona. And this has been a wonderful evening so far, but Josh Struick, what a lap to get pole. Absolutely.
And we're going to celebrate because that was a fantastic lap there for Josh Struick, a 43.607. Always love doing this. Going to the timetable there, 27 flat in that opening sector, a 39.8 in the second sector, and once again, a completely separate driver with a 34.512, their quickest third and final sector for Max Silver, but not by a great deal though, Isaac, this time around in Q2.
No, not a huge difference in the sector times, and Max Silver, he's quite close to the other cars around him. We've seen some very qualifying times in this session. So obviously, as we said, the top 12 cars separated by less than a second. It's been wonderful to watch, and it's great to see some of the Pro-Am guys mixing up the top with the Pro guys, Trev.
It's going to be fantastic. Qualifying 1, race 1 is done. Q2, qualifying 2 is done and dusted, and now we're getting ready for race number 2 here to complete round 2 of this championship. 10 rounds, of course, this season. And boy, hasn't it been a terrific season. Of course, we had our first endurance round back in round 5, the American Grand Prix, which was fantastic as well. And it's an absolute pleasure to have you along for the ride here on your Friday night, back-to-back weekends as well, Isaac, if you don't mind, because we'll talk a little bit more later about the TrackSpotTV Challenge. That is next Friday. So we're getting a bit like F1, aren't we, Isaac? We're going back-to-back now with these races.
Yeah, we're pushing the envelope here and making these guys go back-to-back and do a couple weeks in a row. Bathurst, so I'm sure they'll be looking forward to that one. It's also our first time trying a brand new in the sprint feature round. So we've done 2 sprint races tonight, And then typically when we do a normal round, we do a one. But next week, we'll do one of both. We'll do a 30-minute sprint race with a reverse top 10 qualifying, and then we'll do a normal 60-minute race with a stop required. So that's going to be really exciting. Hopefully the drivers are excited for that new format, because I certainly am, Trev. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be here. I'm going to be on holiday, having a lovely time. Just like everyone else is at home at the moment, tuning in to watch the stream and watch all the action happen. But you get a front row seat.
Cannot wait for that, that's for sure. You'll be holidaying and doing all your sort of thing, coming to Melbourne and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, we see the drivers. I'll be here working, that's for sure. And no, that's fantastic. We're gonna miss you, I'm sure, for the TrackSpotTV challenge. But we'll get you back nice and fresh for the following round, which will be round 7. But we see our drivers pulling away. What's going through their mind? Being a driver yourself, Isaac Fogarty, before becoming Mr. AGT, you were a regular driver in the sim racing world. And what's going through their minds here on this formation lap? Is it all about processing and processes, getting your wheels and tyres, all your bits and pieces up to temperature here before we go racing?
It's a little bit of everything. It's a sprint race, so you're thinking about how much fuel have I got. Maybe you've underfueled a little bit, saving fuel on this formation lap. We've seen a few drivers do that from time to time. Usually I just tend to overfuel the car and put way too much fuel in that I need because I got my calculations wrong and I did my maths wrong. But most of these drivers will have got the exact number down pat, know exactly how much fuel they need to get to the end of this race. There might be a bit of fuel saving going. Sort of speed limited. They have a little graphic on their screen and a green box that they have to stay within and keep within 10 car lengths of the car in front. And then when they get towards the end of the sector, they'll be told to start gridding up in position. At this stage though, just phasing in those tyres, scrubbing them back and forth. You can see Simon Bishop there moving back and forth. It's less about the tyre temperatures and the tyre pressures on this formation lap, because they'll come up naturally, more about the brake pressure, Trev, because think about getting to turn 1, how much of a heavy braking zone that is here, especially at Barcelona, and you want to make sure that car's going to stop when you get there.
Absolutely, and it could turn bad pretty quick, that's for sure, if the car doesn't come to a complete stop. You want to make sure everything is up to temperature. I reckon we've lost a Ferrari. I reckon James Barton's gone. He's disappeared, so I'm pretty sure, I'll stand to be corrected, but I'm pretty sure we've lost James Barton in one of the Ferraris. But you can see 74% of drivers who have got pole position here on this game at Barcelona have gone on to take the win, Isaac. And if our viewers believe those statistics, they'll believe anything, but that is some big numbers. We don't let the truth get in the way of a good story. But having said that, that is going to be very difficult for this man to be beaten. But if there's one man you don't want behind you, it's Simon Bishop, as we're getting ready, Isaac, to go racing here. Matt Donetti, James Machen seems to have fixed his wheel issues, but we are getting ready. The spine's tingling, because just the same feeling before the start of each race, it gets me every time, and I hope it's getting you too at home on your Friday night, because we're not too far away. I was about to say the hairs are standing up on the back of my neck, but it didn't quite come out that way. That's the beauty of live sim racing commentary, Isaac. The words come out, you can't get them back, and that's what we love about it. But you can see all 30 plus drivers are ready to go racing, and we are green again. For Spain, we have begun race 2 now, and look how Josh Struick is under pressure. It almost seems to be a disadvantage to start from P2 here off the line with the slipstream, as they all stream into turn 1 here side by side. Bishop and Struick, front row seats to this. Oh my goodness me, look at that. Donetti slotting into 3rd. Machen in 4th there around the outside of turn 3. A hectic start, and somebody at the back, Isaac, but it looks as though that we have got some action here right through turn 1. Yellow flags are out there. Not sure what's happening there, but look at them all stream through here.
Yeah, we had a car around in turn 3, but this is, oh, look at the TTR cars getting racing. I'm going to drive through for James Hammond for being out of position. Another driver has fallen victim to the race start shenanigans here at Barcelona, but a wonderful start from all of our drivers, relatively our totem pole. Still trying to fix themselves up. George DeCax and Clayton Twining starting from the pit lane in this race. Simon Bishop leads the way. A one place to start from in this car. Josh Droid maybe caught out there. It was his first time starting a race from pole position, so maybe caught out with the green lights. Have a look here in the background. Mustang up wide into the hairpin at the moment, Trev. This is wonderful stuff. They're still side by side behind these guys at the moment. This is Aiden Holton had to wonder up in P9, but it's all happening everywhere. I don't know where to look.
Absolutely. Well, there's only one thing we've got to look at, and that is these cars, because that is incredible. 28 minutes remaining, not even through the opening lap, and it's a drive-through for Hammond. You can see there Hammond is leading the AM class, but he's got a drive-through. We go through the opening lap. Simon Bishop leads this race a couple of minutes in from Struick, Danetti, Fleming, Machin, the big movers, TTR West Side. You can see there 5th and 6th. Max Silver doing nice things again. Holding up, I shouldn't say holding up Bruce Quadrell there, but he's in front of Bruce Quadrell and Aiden Holton there in P9. Forgot to mention, Isaac, as well, we had a couple of ring-ins tonight, a couple of substitutes as well here this evening.
We certainly did. Nathan Hutton is one of those. We saw him in the Mercedes last time out of the Spanish SuperSprint, and he's done a wonderful job again tonight jumping in the BCG BMW. That's the number 47th car. Currently sitting in 14th place in this race, so he's doing a wonderful job. And then James Hammond, obviously, in the 59 Defy Motorsports Mustang. He's feeling Adam Joy, who's feeling a bit under the weather tonight. We wish him all the best. Hope he's feeling better soon. We had a couple drivers out tonight feeling unwell. And Les Sam with one of the familiar faces, one of the well-known drivers up and down the field. He's well liked by everyone in the league, and he's also out tonight feeling unwell, hopefully tuning in. So hope you're feeling better soon, LJ. We miss you. Two Ferbs and all our drivers aren't able to make it tonight, and Liam Tame, another one of those. Busy boy at the moment is Liam Tame. He's got life things happening here, there and everywhere, and he's found someone else to jump in the car tonight. And it's great that we have these guys, Trev, that can just jump in and fill in and get some points for the teams.
Yeah, we love it, and fantastic sim racing community. Big shout out to Liam Tame. He is a busy boy, let me tell you. There's a lot of stuff happening there as we see Simon Bishop lap 2 of this race. Big Struick has taken the fastest lap. Carreras Malivios. That is wonderful, marvellous racing in Spanish. Excuse my Spanish, as they say, but this is wonderful, marvellous racing that we are seeing here. Matt Danetti in 3rd, Fleming in 4th. Championship points. That's another thing we've got to think about for everybody watching at home. To finish this race, first you must finish, but then think about the championship points that are on offer here as well. Bruce Quadrell there slotting in nicely. Yellow flags out for car 55. What is happening there? Sinclair off the circuit and into the gravel, and he's getting around there. Some damage to the front of that car. He appears to be all on his own, but we did catch the back end of that incident as the Spanish marshals are waving the white flags. But I tell you what, there'll be no sign of Sinclair surrendering here, that's for sure. But he does have a lot of damage on that car number 55.
Yeah, the front end damage there and the position of that car may have been a bit hand there with that incident for Sinclair. And I think he's rolled off the circuit. He has. And it looks like he may return to the garage, maybe looking at a bit of steering damage there for Sinclair. And that's disappointing. He was running well up until that point, and he's just sitting there off the circuit at the moment. So we'll keep a close eye on that. James Hammond served that drive-through, now sits in 27th place. Bowen Piper sits in 30th. But he's having a few issues at the moment as well. And it looks like Mark Sinclair's still sitting there off the circuit. But Simon Bishop leads the way from Josh Struick, from Matt Danetti, from Cameron Fleming, from James Machin. That's got top 5 at the moment. Nick Carter and Max Silver not too far behind these guys. This is a nice little pack shaping up for the back end of the top 5, Trev.
Oh, absolutely. Now, no pit stops. No pit stops if you're joining us for this Spanish SuperSprint. So it is just a straight sprint from start to finish. Are there any team orders between Carter and Machin? I don't think there would be. There's none of this. Fernando is faster than you. Remember that from many, many years ago. I don't think we're going to be seeing that here. But Quadrell now, Max Silver further behind. I don't think there's anything to worry about from Max Silva at the moment, because he's got his own issues to deal with, basically, in Bruce Quadrille there in P8. Aidan Holton all over the back of them, and you can see there Holton, car number 98 for the CP Motorsports squad, and he is well and truly firmly entrenched inside that top 10 in the pro class. P8, of course, for him. Then Sheppers doing nicely, but 4.5 seconds is the gap, and for car number 22, and I'm not sure why there is there's sort of a green aerial there protruding from the top of that car, which none of the other Mercedes seem to have. Is he trying to get the Twitch stream up as well while he's racing there or something?
Might be the remote control antenna. It might be sim rig in the pit lane, driving that car with a wheel as opposed to actually sitting in the car. So that might be what it's for. Not entirely sure. I also noticed Bob Norley has dropped right down the order. There was yellow flags at turn 1 a little while ago, so there's been an incident for Bob Norley. He now sits 24th in this race, which is disappointing. He had a really strong race 1 and was obviously to lead the way in the Pro-Am Championship leaving this race. So that's disappointing for him. A long way to go in this race, 20 minutes still left. So plenty of time for him to make up some places. Having a look up and down the field as well, Anthony Burrows, stronger race for him so far, sitting 14th after being in the back end of the top 20 in that first race. So he's doing a great job getting himself back up the order and looking like a strong contender to get some decent points in this race.
He certainly is, and we were maybe a little bit harsh on him, I would suggest, there in that opening race, because he's come back pretty good for TTR Eastside, and his teammate, of course, Frank Horvath, is a little bit further down the field. But look at this huge pack of cars, and is that our race? Are they our race leaders? No, they're not. No, I beg your pardon. I just saw a BMW and a Mustang, and well, they might have been our race leaders, but I don't know what I'm talking about, Isaac. But lap 4 of this race sees Simon Bishop lead, but not by much. Look at that, it's less than a second, just a tick over 20 minutes left in this race, and the sun is starting to set here at Barcelona as the shadows continue to lengthen. Still 27 degrees out on the circuit, 24 degrees air temperature, and I don't think we're going to see any weather issues. Of course, it is fixed weather for anybody joining this particular round of the championship. Hola and hello to you, as we like to say in this part of the world. But there's a 2.5 second gap back to Fleming, and he's under pressure. It's all east and west, south, west side. They're coming at him from everywhere here.
They're coming at him from all compass points at this stage. Cameron Fleming under pressure. Machin's going to have a look into turn 1, but he's not close enough to make the move stick this time. So Fleming holds on for now. Obviously, balance of power changes have brought these cars much more into line with each other, and top speeds are still similar. The Mustang's still fastest in a straight line, but they have come more into a bit of an even Stevens when it comes to that straight line speed. So that's making it a lot easier for BMW to defend against the Mustangs in this race. Touching on what you said earlier, you were questioning whether it was the race leader. It was the race leaders that were battling. It was actually the sister cars of Nathan Hutton and Adam Gray that were going at it. So it was still a BCG1 and a TTR Southside car, but it was just the other cars, the sister cars, if you will. But this has been a little bit of a stronger lap so far from Cameron Fleming. He started to pull away from James Machin, who's got his teammate for company right behind him.
And don't forget that gap is 3.2 there between Fleming. But interestingly, these BOP changes have really shaken things up. But have a look inside your top 6. BMW, Mustang, BMW, Mustang, Mustang. What I'm trying to say is that inside that top 6, it is just BMWs and Mustangs, and as you can visually see there on the screen, and then Max Silva and Bruce Quadrille. He is about 5 seconds ahead of Sheppers there in the Pro-Am class, but Max Silva is doing an incredible job after absorbing all of that pressure from the young man Elzine, who is further down the field, but he's putting pressure on Sheppers here as well, as we see there. Tanner, they don't like curbs, do they? Especially the Mustangs, not good at riding those sausage curbs. As we take a look at Tanner here, he's doing well, and he's holding his own here at the moment, leading his class, Isaac, and holding off some fairly quick guys behind him in Nicholson, Griffin and Norley.
there. Holding off Riley Nicholson is nothing to be scoffed at here for Wayne Town. He's doing a wonderful job because Riley Nicholson's got a lot of pace in that car at the moment. He's got Jaden DeWitt right in front of him. He's going to have a look here on the inside exit that he would have wanted through turn 3, and that's a change of position there for Wayne Tanner to get back up past Jaden inside the top 20 now. Jaden has another look up the inside into turn 5. That's going for a very late, but he won't be able to make that tick, and he'll be compromised on exit. This is some wonderful racing here. Bob Norley, a little bit of a way off the back of this group, but as Riley Nicholson has a look at the inside now of DeWitt, that move stick has Riley Nicholson, and that's Andrew Griffin now going to have a look just for good measure.
18 minutes remaining in this race, and you can see Friday night action aplenty here on your Friday night, and lap 6 of this race. It seems like more than that. Struick very, very close now. Simon Bishop, the wily Foxman. Wily Foxman? What on earth is going on there? But lap 7 of this race, the man with not a lot of hair, but that just would slow him down if he had more hair. But let me tell you, he's under pressure here. But if there's anyone that can get up early enough in the morning New Zealand time to absorb that pressure, it's Simon Bishop.
Simon Bishop, he eats pressure for breakfast. This man feels no pressure. He spent 90 minutes at Imola. It's one of my favourite things to talk about. I never mention. He spent 90 minutes at Imola with Matt second of him the entire time, and he still managed to hold on. So Josh Struick right behind him. This will be nothing for Simon Bishop. Maybe Matt Zanetti can invite himself to this party if this battle continues. Simon Bishop has the fastest lap of the race, but it's clear at this stage that Josh Struick just has that superior grip. And I think, Trev, this is a perfect time to talk about the balance of power. We've teased it all evening and just exactly what changes have been made, but I'll talk you through, if you will. There's been major updates to LFM BOP.
Stop teasing me.
There's been major changes to the LFM BOP. LFM stands for low fuel motors. The balance of power system we use here at AGT. It's very wild in the ACC sim racing circles, and recently they've made the decision that the Mustang is too quick, Trev. It's too fast in a straight line. And the only way to combat that is to introduce to restrict the engine power. This is the first time they've ever used the restrictor plate on a car in the LFM BOP, and they've restricted it as much as they can. So this car can only achieve 80% power. It's got a 20% restrictor plate put on it to stop the car from achieving too much power in a straight line. But to combat that, they've taken a bunch of weight out of it. So it now has 13 kilos, or minus 13 kilos, 24 kilos of weight taken out compared to the previous balance of power. In conjunction to that, the BMW has negative 3 kilos of power or weight in the car. So there's a 10 kilo difference in weight, but a 20% difference, I should say, in how much of their engine they can access, which actually brings into line about probably about a 1 kilometre an hour, I should say, Trev, in the straight line speed of these cars. And if you're at home when you've fallen asleep, I apologise, but I do like, as everybody knows, I'm a little bit delve into the data, and I find it quite interesting that they've made so many changes to these cars to bring them within a kilometre of in terms of peak straight line speed.
Absolutely, and there is nothing nerdy about that. That is fantastic to know, but Struick and Bishop, this is going to go down to the wire. Look at this as we head back to the on-track action. It's hot, and it certainly is here in Spain, and they don't want to be sharing the spoils of victory here at Barcelona here this evening as we see the battle continue. Is he going to be close enough to have a go on the straight? We'll wait and see. We can see here he's not too close there, having a little bit of a bad run out of that final corner. as we take a look. I don't think he's close enough, but he will get the slipstream here at Simon Bishop. This man eats pressure for breakfast, and which is more than what I can say for Shooter McGavin, what he used to eat for breakfast, Isaac. We won't joke about that, but 14 minutes left in this race. Oh, he looked to go too deep into that corner. He's managed to get it all together, and then don't forget about this man, Isaac. Matt Donetti is standing there at the door waiting. He's got an invite to the party. He's looking through the windows to see what's happening inside the party rooms, and he wants a piece of the action as well.
Yeah, I think he's feeling a bit left out. These guys, these two other guys are at their McDonald's birthday party, and Matt's getting out in the playground. Guys, can I come in, please? I'd like to join in. This looks like it could be fun, and I think he'll make it an invite soon enough if he keeps just standing there observing as Josh Struick and Simon Bishop continue to battle. So we're going to have a three-way battle at the end of this race with only 13 minutes to go. That's very much... Cameron Fleming is a fair way behind these guys at the moment. There's still quite a lot of drivers up and down the field. They're setting wonderful times at the moment, doing a great job. Adam Elzine sitting 10th at this stage of the race, still not too far behind Sheppers. And that's a nice, strong battle for the back half of the top 10. They've got Bruce Quadrille from company as well, pretty close behind him. Bruce has lost out there. He was up in 8th place, I believe, and has made a mistake and has dropped down to 11th. So that's disappointing for Bruce, but he's not too far behind these guys. Maybe get back into the top 10 before the race.
As you can see, the track now, the sun beginning to do its thing now as late in the Spanish afternoon sun here. You can see Quadrille a little bit further back. Let's have a look at what's happening. Stop-go penalty, SG30 for Sinclair there. He's had his issues there. Piper now as well to Cax. Let's have a look at the AM class. Tanner leading the way by 7 seconds there, as you can see. He is on his merry way there, potentially for victory, but 12 minutes, 7 seconds. Mr. Worldwide, M. Boyd in the Fogarty Motorsport Junior car. They're doing nicely in P2. Who else haven't we spoken about here? Look at this. Staley and Lee doing battle in the midfield as well.
Yeah, these guys are going hammer and tong at the moment for 15th place. So this is the man that was leading Glenn. He's run wide on the exit. That is going to give the position over to Nathan B. So that's frustrating for Senan Staley. He's not gelled with the car the way he would have wanted at this run. That's a car facing backwards, trying to work out who that is. Define Motorsports car. Not quite sure who it is. Hopefully it's no one that was up towards the top, but that is huge for this race.
It certainly is. We'll wait and get a positive identification on that car. They seem to be back around going again. 11 minutes to go in this race. Sinclair is coming in to serve his stop-go 30. We'll get back to the front because Bishop still leads. But Struick, oh, Matt Donetti, he has got into the party, and now it's a three-way battle for the win. Grandstand finish coming up here for round 2 of this AGT ACC season number 2 and the Spanish SuperSprint. Boy, they kicked us out the first time, Isaac. We came back, hola, and now we're back here, and look at this. It's coming down to the last 10 minutes of the last race of the evening.
I think you break me every time you do your hola, Trevor. Absolutely love it. But this is going down to the wall. They didn't think we were going to do some very good racing, but we've certainly proved them wrong when they've let us back in racing we've produced this evening. We've got 3 cars all within a second of each other, and they're the top 3 cars, first, second and third. These are the usual the guys we've seen at the top time and time again. This is business as usual for these guys, but they're providing some great racing at this stage. I can confirm the car that locked out that was backwards earlier on was Shepard, so he's dropped right down the order. Not sure what happened there. I think he was on his own, so potentially that was just a self-inflicted spin. We'll have to look further into that after the race, though. But this is where the action is at the moment. Matt Donetti closing in on Josh Struick and Simon Bishop.
Oh, it could be the cold and flu drugs. I have been bedridden for a couple of days, but I cannot believe what I am seeing here because traffic. Wow, they are coming up to some traffic there. One of the Fogarty Motorsport Junior cars is getting out of the way. Great effort great effort there to get out of the way, because this lead battle is not something you want to affect whatsoever. See that BMW bouncing. But you've got to say there's a number one on that car, our reigning champion. There's a number one on that car, Isaac, for a reason, and that reason is that he's very, very quick. We know that. And he eats pressure for breakfast, and it looks like he's extending that lead with just under 9 minutes to go. Is Struick more worried about Matt Donetti? That is the question. He got a late invite. Now he's at the party, and we see here Fleming and Carter as well. Wow, 4th and 5th, everywhere you look, there's battles galore here in Spain.
Yeah, well, everyone else down the order started to spread out. Adam Gray and Nathan Hutton's close together, but the battle seems to be towards the front. Everyone's got a big magnet, and they're all just sort of pulling in. Matt Donetti's dropped right off the back of Josh Struick now, as I said that. So there's been an issue for Matt Donetti. He's now 5 seconds away from Josh Struick and Simon Bishop, and he's right, actually, up close to these two. So there could be a three-way battle for the back half podium.
Certainly would be a gran carrera, Isaac. It is great racing indeed, and not quite sure the accuracy of Google Translate. Don't count on that one if you're heading to Spain. But 8 minutes remaining in this race. Look at the action that is happening there as we see Carter running slightly wide, but it doesn't seem to have slowed him down too much as we approach the La Caixa hairpin at turn 10. Not getting a move done there. James Machin as well. Is he going to come and help his teammate? Let's just wait and see. 1.8 seconds further back, then it's Silva, and a very, very sun-kissed part of the circuit there here in Spain. And I've got to say, the Spanish SuperSprint, it was well worth the wait of a couple of months, because we have enjoyed every single second of it here this evening, and please let us know if you're enjoying it as well. Of course, that's a silly question because we know they are, and it gets better too. We've got back-to-back Friday nights, but we'll get to that a little bit later on. But Bishop leads on lap 13 of this race, 7 minutes to go. You're in this car, you're sitting behind the wheel, Isaac Fogarty. What is going through your mind? What are you thinking of right now with 6 minutes left?
First of all, if that was me behind the wheel, it'd be, oh my God, can't believe it. Simon Bishop's for Josh Struick. He's done this many times before. This is the norm for him. They spent so long together battling at Watkins Glen just a couple weeks ago. So these guys know each other's race inside and out. So if I'm Josh Struick at this point, I'm just thinking about where is Simon Bishop compromised. I'm watching the body language of that BMW, seeing what corners I can get a good run out of. Is he strong enough through here? Can I get a nice run through this corner to set myself up on the run down towards turn 10? I don't think he's going to be close enough this time because that BMW is very strong through this final sector. So if I'm Josh Struick at the moment, I'm just trying to find a mistake from Simon Bishop, which he doesn't make very often. So this is going to have to be a bit of a patient game for Mr. Struick with 5 minutes to go in this race.
Yep, he's going to have to play the long game here. Couldn't agree more. You can see there, and Matt Donetti, 7.2 seconds. So there's a little bit of cosmetic aesthetic damage on that car. So I'm sure that he must have run into some trouble somewhere. Fleming and Carter not too far behind him. So that's interesting as well. James Machin there, 1.1 further back. Then it's Max Silva leading the way, and he has driven a superb race. You can see there 4.7 ahead of Holton and 4 seconds further back to Adam Elzine. So it's not going to be quite as close as it was in race 1. He is doing very nicely there, and then it's Gray in second in the Pro-Am class, then Hutton, and then if we go back to see where Tanner is, let's have a look at this. Nicholson with him for company, but he is punching well above his weight here. Is Tanner in car number 97 onto the start-finish straight. We go, less than 5 minutes remaining. What can you see changing here, Isaac? As Horvath with a drive-through penalty. Controversy here late.
Yeah, well, we saw a couple other drivers fall victim to the drive-through penalty late in this race, and Horvath is pulling over to the side of the road now to let those guys go out of the way of that battle. I have to say, Wayne Tanner has done a wonderful job. He's held off wrong pretty much all of this race. Look at this. He's found his moment now. Has Josh Struick. He's a lot closer than he was last time. as they head down towards turn 10. A lovely helicopter shot there of the two cars heading down towards turn 10 in through turn 11. He needs to get a strong run through here. The BMW is much stronger than the Mustang, so Josh Struick is going to be relying on Simon Bishop making a mistake or two through this final sector. It's been really nice. His curb usage has actually been really strong in this Mustang. He's done a great job of not using too much curb, but just using the right amount. Locks, as we call it in the business. Is he close enough in the slipstream this time to make a move down towards turn 1? You can see he's got his foot flat to the floor. He cannot go any faster. He's not going to be close enough though, Trev.
3.5 minutes remaining in this race. He's only going to have a couple more laps here, I reckon, a couple of more opportunities to get this one done. Is it going to be a matter of time? Because the time will become a factor here as well. All right, Google has gone Spanish on me there for a second. I do apologise. And thank you, Sala de Carreras. Thank you very much, as I do apologise for that coming through. But 3 minutes remaining. Now, opportunities around this circuit. We are coming through this corner, the Repsol corner, turn 5, 6 and 7. TV3, which I'm guessing is the name of a Spanish television network. Not as good as TrackSpotTV, of course, but this is the opportunity, isn't it, here through turn 9, approaching turn 10. If he can get close enough, if he's good enough, he's close enough.
Yeah, that's the thing. He gets a really good run through the first and second sector, but this BMW, Simon Bishop, he's just so strong through the third sector that it's just impossible for Josh Struick to get close enough to be able to make a move down in towards turn 1. So all that hard work just doesn't quite pay off because of the strength this BMW has, and Simon Bishop has used that to his advantage here with 2 minutes to go. A lapped car at one of the most awkward times for these drivers through the final corner. He's going to have to get out of the way as quickly as possible. I think he's going to check Simon Bishop up just a little bit, which could open the door here for Josh Struick. He's going to use the lap car to his advantage. Simon Bishop moves to the right-hand side of the track to defend the position, and I think he's just gotten away with it, just held on. This is wonderful racing between these two.
Oh, how good was that? You can see Simon Bishop just trying to break that slipstream. Less than 2 minutes remaining now. And so often over the years, Isaac, we've seen back markers come into play. Remember Häkkinen and Schumacher at Spa there with, I think it was a BAR there, and Mika Häkkinen getting one of the best moves of all time there way back in the day. But it's all about here. Now, let's just focus in on the present. Let's stay here now and enjoy this, because we've only got a couple of minutes left and it is very close. Yes, I know, Isaac, our viewers are thinking there's other battles happening out here, including this one between Fleming, Machen, 6th and 7th. They're close as well, but you'd be a brave man to take your eyes off this with a minute remaining.
There's too many battles for us to... We almost need like a split screen of like 7 different battles all going at the same time. Because Bob Norley's also trying to make him daily down in 15th place. So it's all happening up and down the field. Names here, there and everywhere trying to find their way up the order through different cars to make up positions. But this is the battle that we've been keeping a close. He looks to be closer this time. This is going to be the start of the final lap. They'll get one more run. He'll get one more go at Simon Bishop, the #1 car, the reigning champion. Can Josh Struick make it 2 from 2 tonight? Or can Simon Bishop bounce back with a race win here in Spain?
Let's wait and see. Last lap, Uno Veltomasso. One more lap remaining here in this race. Let's have a look and see. Turn 1. No, you're not going to get it done there. No, Signore. As he's very close though, isn't he? But Simon Bishop needs to have the widest #1 BMW in Adrenaline GT, AGT, ACC history if he's going to get this done tonight. Sheppers and a couple of other guys down there have drive-through penalties. We don't care about that, Isaac. We're here for this.
Well, we do care, and that's very disappointing for those guys, but this is where our attention focus at the moment in this battle. He has a cheeky look on the run down in towards turn 6, turn 5, sorry, but he can't make the move stick at this stage. He's not quite close enough. Can he get a strong run through here to make a move into turn 10. Let's find out through turn 7 for the final time. He's so close this time. This is the closest he has been this entire race, and it's on. He's got the run now. Has he got the stronger exit? Using every last track limit warning that he can. You don't get another lap, so you may as well use. He's not close enough into turn 10, Trev. He's got one more sector to make the
11, 12, 13, 14, 15 to go. Final sector on the final lap in the final race to complete round 2 of the Spanish SuperSprint. Is it going to be Bishop? Is it going to be Struick to win this race? Oh, you could not put... They're so close, they're almost conjoined at the moment as they come out of the final couple of corners. I reckon Simon Bishop's got it, he has. The wily Kiwi has taken victory here tonight, not by much, but it doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile, Isaac, because winning's winning. Any real racer will tell you that.
That's exactly right. Martinetti holds on. Damage to finish in 3rd spot. So damage limitation for the championship leader, Cameron over James Machin. Max Silver take a bow, 7th place, well ahead of the closest Pro-Am driver, and that is a comeback weekend he's needed. He's had a tough season so far, Max Silver, and to come back and finish in 7th place today, 2 strong results, has been absolutely wonderful. Adam Elzine will finish in 9th, Bruce Quadrell in 10th, a great result. Anthony Burrows, 11th place, well done. Look at how close those 3 cars were across the line. Nathan Hutton and Adam Gray, the other TTR Southside and BCG1 cars, and the sister cars still battling. Bob Norley, after that incident early on in the race, comes home in 15th place. Wayne Tanner will win the AM class. He goes 2 from 2 tonight. He wins here in the AM class at Spain, finishes 19th overall. Sheepers and Boyd with drive-through penalties, so that'll be converted to a 30-second penalty at the end of their race, so they'll drop right down the order. But well done to all of our winners, but well done to Simon Bishop and Josh Struick for what was a wonderful battle for the last 15 minutes of that race, Trev.
Well, I'm never a big fan of reruns, let me tell you, unless it's one of the classic Simpsons or something, but how good was that round 2? The Spanish SuperSprint, you can see, wow, that's a great shot there of the Fogarty Motorsport car as we see the drivers go back into the lane. Do we want to go back to the garage? Oh, I've done something. I'm not sure what I've done, Isaac, but let me tell you, let's have a look at the final results on your screen. Bishop, not by much, but gets it done over Struick in the end. Matt Donetti rounding out the Pro podium. Max Silver taking victory in the Pro-Am. And then Hutton and Gray. And then Wayne Tanner taking the AM class ahead of Hammond in P2. And Stewart as well. That'll be plenty to talk about in the championship, of course, as well, leading into next week. And we are back to back, of course, next week. But what an evening. Let's just take a moment to take a breath and unpack that. I just threw the chair out and stood up. That's how excited I was, and I could feel the excitement coming through the stream. And how good was that? But what a fantastic night of racing. And that's what I love about these sprint rounds. If you get it wrong the first time for our drivers, you can make up for it in the second race.
Yeah, absolutely. You get two bites at the cherry, as they say. So you get another run at it, and what a result. And look, I know we talk about this a little bit. We have to look at a drive today. It has to be Max Silver, a 10th place in the first race with a wonderful battle with Adam Elzine that we could barely take our eyes off, so much so that it sort of overshadowed the win of Josh Struick in that first race. And in that second race, he just flawless start to finish. 7th place. It's a weekend he sorely needed to get his name back in the championship picture for Pro-Am, and that was a great result. But that battle up the top end, I think we're going to see a little bit of a shake-up coming out of this round, Trev.
Absolutely, and speaking of the next round, boy, we do move on very quickly to round 6 of the championship, which is going to be the TrackSpotTV Challenge, and that is coming your way Friday the 11th of July, 15 minutes of qualifying and a 30-minute and 60-minute race. And as we said at the top of our show, Isaac, just mixing things up a little bit there for the next round of the championship.
Yeah, we're going to have 2 races, but it's 2 slightly different races, the 30-minute race and a 60-minute race. So a reverse top 10 for the 30-minute sprint race. So no pit stop required for that race, but there will be a pit stop required when we go for our 60-minute feature race, which will just be the normal qualifying results. So that's going to be, I'm really excited to see the reverse top 10.
It's going to be an absolute classic there, of course, next week. But that is all we have time for this evening. We hope you enjoyed it, of course, with thanks to RavenComms and TrackSpotTV bringing you this broadcast here this evening. I've been your host, Trevor Byers, alongside my co-commentator, Isaac Fogarty. Isaac, thank you once again for your thoughts and your incredible insight into this championship for AGT. And, well, I'm a little bit disappointed I won't see you next week. You'll be back for the following round, of course, round 7.
Yes, it's always a pleasure. I hope everyone has enjoyed. Obviously, won't be here next week. I'll be on a nice me in chat. I'll have a few things to say here and there, I'm sure. A few statistics. Maybe I'll get my little booties out to provide some insight from the couch. But yeah, absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for having me yet again, Trev. Every minute of the action tonight.
Absolutely, the pleasure's all mine. We do, of course, thank everybody for watching this evening. Of course, it's been a fantastic night of racing. We'll give the data crew next week off as well, Isaac, but it's been fantastic. We hope you've enjoyed round 2, the Spanish SuperSprint, the rerun from round 2 of this Adrenaline AGT season. We'll be back next week, of course, Friday the 11th of July with the TrackSpotTV Challenge. But that's our lot for this evening. Don't forget, have a great week, a great weekend, a great week. Be kind to one another, and we'll see you next time for AGT. Bye for now.
Been trying